Adams was a legal aid lawyer, came back to Jacksonville under a federal program called the Reginald Heber Smith Fellowship. It was to bring African-American young lawyers back to their hometown. And then he became a public defender, and we became closer and closer friends over time, and he joined us, and it was Sheppard, Fletcher, Hand, and Adams. This would have been like January of '71. And it was indeed the first integrated law firm in the state of Florida. And I think at the time there were in Jacksonville probably a couple thousand lawyers, and there were 9 African Americans. And at the time I went to law school, there were no African Americans. There were 6 females. And as a result of this joining together, it put me more in touch with the African American community, and it put Archie, we called him, more into the white community. So it became this 4-man law firm. My black brother lawyer had been a public defender, and he literally taught me to be a criminal lawyer, criminal defense lawyer. And some of our experiences together probably would have been regarded as criminal, but not criminal defense. And I share with you a couple, 3 experiences with Adams that were new to me and educational and spiritually enlightening. I think probably the first time I encountered this understanding of what was going on is Adams and I went to a movie at north side of town theater, which was kind of a hate whitey movie that was coming out in the late 60s, early 70s, and we'd working one Saturday and went for a matinee, and about halfway through the movie, I feel a nudge, and Adams leans over and said, "We need to get out of here." And I said, "Why?" He said, "This is getting out of hand." And we got outside and said, "What the hell's the problem?" He said, "Brother, you're the only white guy in there. And we need to get out." So we got out. That was an educational experience. Another occasion, we were up in Atlanta, and we went up, went to a housing discrimination case. We got very involved in housing discrimination in Jacksonville. And we went to a seminar, and at the seminar, we ran into a fellow classmate of mine from law school, and he invited us over. The seminar was over at noon, and our flight was 8 o'clock at night or something like that. And so we went over to his house to spend the afternoon, had a few beers, and toward the end of the afternoon, he excused himself. His wife and he had a social engagement, and he pointed at a restaurant about a block and a half away. "Leave your stuff here. Here's the key. Go eat, come back, get your stuff, call a cab, and go to the airport." So we went and ate. We came back, and the key wouldn't work, and our tickets and our gear's in the man's house. So by that time, I had, I guess even before I left this big law firm, kind of in part joining the movement, I guess, started growing my hair long. So my hair was down pretty long, and probably had started the beard that I still wear and have never taken off. And I said to my partner, Archie, I said, "You stay here in the front, see if you can get in the window. I'll go in the back and see if I can get in one." Well, about 5 minutes later, Adams came back around the house and he said, "Sheppard, we got to get the hell out of here." I said, "Why?" He said, "There ain't no roller in Atlanta, Georgia, going to believe a black man trying to get in a white man's house to get his gear. And if they find you back there, they'll know damn well we ain't supposed to be going in this man's house, and they'll bust our ass." So after reflecting on it, we went off to the airport, bought us new tickets, and had our friends send the old stuff, the old tickets down to us the first of the week. And that taught me a little bit. And then another experience that really cemented how serious this racism game is, and still exists. It's no different now. It's probably more underground and more segregated. we went to a club called the Someplace Else, and it was a disco type dance club on the river in Jacksonville. And I was late because I couldn't get the top up, but we went in at 3 different times. And when I sat down, Adam said, how much they charge you to get in here? And I said, what do you mean? They charged me $3 to get in here. I said, they didn't charge me anything. I said, you go ask the black guys what the hell is going on. I'll go ask some white guys. So we did, and it was pure race. So I remember we left, bought a case of beer. That's when Carruthers split with his date. And Adams and I went back to the office and pulled the books, and we put together a lawsuit, first one filed around here, I guarantee you, of public accommodations. It's a violation of the federal Civil Rights Act at or about this time, probably passed in 68, and this is probably 70, 69 or 70. To discriminate on account of race in public accommodations. The law was passed because all of the freedom riders who came down to register voters in the South couldn't find a place to sleep because the motels wouldn't wait on them. So Congress passed Title II of the Civil Rights Act. And so we sued them Monday morning in federal court. So we were in court, and what had happened is this club had changed hands, and the new lawyer, or the new owner, was a lawyer. And apparently too many blacks went to this place because it was a good disco, and he was trying to keep the blacks from coming to his club. And so he installed this $3 cover charge. And I remember he was on the witness stand, and I'm cross-examining him, and the judge is raising Cain, being involved in the proceedings, which was his style and is. And I looked over, and Adams is giving me a come over here. And I went over there, and he said, man, we need to drop this case. This judge is going to put everybody in jail. And I said, no, we ain't dropping this case. And we went on, and we prevailed and won the case. And so the court entered an order that everybody paid $3 or nobody paid $3. And that was a real satisfying victory because it was the first of its kind around here, and it was righteous and the right thing to do and at the right point in history. And it built more confidence and more faith in the legal system and these young lawyers out here trying to make a difference. So it just added fuel to our fire. At the time a judge becomes a judge and takes his position officially, he goes through a ceremony called an investiture. And at an investiture, a person presents the new judge to a sitting judge who then accepts the judge, and they all make speeches. And I was the presenter of my former partner, Hugh Carruthers, as a circuit judge, to then sitting circuit judge Henry Lee Adams, my former partner. And after I made my remarks, Judge Adams accepted Judge Carruthers, and in doing so said, yeah, I think it was 71, and I was hooked up, and it was Sheppard, Fletcher, Hand, and Adams. And Carruthers worked there, and I thought then, boy, there are 4 crazy white boys. And that kind of summed it up, because I think that's what everybody thought going back many years when I hooked up with Henry Adams and was the first integrated law firm in a state that was racist historically. Kind of makes you proud. I look back, and Judge Adams was the first African-American state court circuit judge in North Florida. And after serving as a state court judge for 13 years, he became the first African-American federal district judge in the Middle District of Florida's history.